I received a question recently asking when should you use a prototype? There's a pretty solid rule that would call for the use of a prototype object, and we're going to discuss that in this tutorial. Welcome to another tutorial from All Things JavaScript, where we help bridge the gap between novice and expert. To be notified about new tutorials, make sure to click that bell button and subscribe. Also, check out the discount links to all my courses that I've included in the description of this tutorial. Now, the basic rule for the use of prototype is if you plan to have more than one object that will share a method, you should place that method or methods on a prototype of those objects. That's the general rule. Now, there are a few reasons you should do this. So let's first look at those reasons, and then we will look at an example to help illustrate that. Now, if you're unfamiliar with prototypes or how to set a prototype of an object, I will link to several tutorials in the description. Basically a playlist that goes through the prototypes. And I would recommend you view that first. Now, on to the reasons. Reason number one, and it's the whole concept of dry coding, which stands for don't repeat yourself. So if you have a method that you're going to share across objects, well, you want it in one place. By putting it on the prototype object, it is in one place. So you're not repeating that method across multiple objects. Another reason, by placing these on a single prototype object, you have one single object that you're able to manipulate, and that can affect multiple instances. Now, obviously, this is something you have to be careful of, but it does give you the ability to make a change and affect several objects at once. And so that can be a really nice feature. Finally, by placing those on a single object instead of on all of the individual instances, you are reducing memory requirements. You don't have to have that method on multiple objects, and it helps with memory requirements. So those are some of the reasons to use a prototype. Now, let's look at an example that would illustrate some of these things. Now, here I've set up some code. I have an object that I've created, and I'm going to use this object as the prototype. And inside of this, I simply have one method, full name. Basically what it does, it takes the first name and concatenates it with the last name and returns it. So this method I want available on any user object. So I create an object every time I get a new user just to keep track of information about that user. So here's an example where the first user is created, and then I attach the name, first name and last name to that user object. And because I created the object with this as the prototype, it has access to that method. And we can see that easily by jumping to the console and just taking a look at user 1. Here we have the data that's on the object. Now, if we open this up and then open up the prototype, we can see here is the method, the full name method. And so that is available for that user. User1.fullName, and it returns the first and last name concatenated together. All right, now let's add a second user there. So we're going to do user 2. Let me just copy this instead of typing it all. And then I'll change the name here, Simon to Smith, and change this to user 2. So now we have two users, and they both share that method. If we open up this second user, we can see that it also has access to that method. So the method exists on one prototype object. I don't have to place it on each of the individual objects. Now, it doesn't matter how we choose to use a prototype with an object. Here, I've used object.create to create my objects and assign the prototype. That's only one method of doing it in JavaScript. It doesn't matter if we use a different method. The end result is the same. We're still sharing those methods that are on the object prototype. Let me put a couple of other methods for doing that exact same thing. So we'll use the constructor method and also the class structure. I'm just going to paste this in so you don't have to see me copy it. So here's the constructor method. I set up a function here that becomes a constructor function, and it assigns the first name and last name. I assign the prototype, and then I assign the constructor to the prototype, something that's a good idea to do. And then I go ahead and create a user, user3. And I do new user. Now what this does is, once again, this becomes the prototype, obj proto. Now the class structure is a bit different. We don't create the object that's used as a prototype. Basically, this will create a prototype for us and place this on the prototype. And then I use the class structure to create user4. So let's just go ahead and look at those and see that we can see the methods on the prototype. So I'm going to refresh, and then let's look at user3 first. And if I open that up, there's the prototype. Here's the full name method. Now, if I take a look at user4, open that up down here on the prototype object, here's the full name method as well. So that's assigned to the prototype object. So the class structure is really just a different syntax to accomplish prototypal inheritance, which is the basis of JavaScript. So in the end, we're placing things on the prototype. Now, one more thing I want to show you here. So 3 of these users 1, 2, and 3, are using the exact same prototype object. User 4 is not, because it was created from the class structure. If I created additional users from the class structure, they would use the same prototype object. But user 1, 2, and 3 already are. So let's go ahead and change that prototype object. I'm going to do obj proto, which is the name of that object, .fname. And this is going to be a new method. And basically what this new method will do is just return the first name. There we go. So I press return on that. Now, if we do user1 dot first name, got to use the right function name, fname, not first name. There we go. And it returns the first name, user2 dot fname, and user3. So by making that one change to the prototype object, I made a function available for all the objects that have been created or that inherited from that prototype object. So we see the value of being able to edit that prototype object. Although you do need to be careful with that, that can be a very nice feature. So some of the reasons to use a prototype. And remember, if you have methods that are going to be shared across objects, place those on the prototype. That's the general rule. Now, before we're done here, please hit the like button and subscribe. And remember, I've provided discount links to all my courses in the description section. If you would like to become a patron of this channel, I would appreciate the support. For a certain level of support, you can get access to the code files I use. You can also contribute by visiting my website if you prefer to help that way. You can follow a link for both in the description. Click the bell button to be notified about new releases. I release a new tutorial each week. And once again, thanks for watching.